word about the Jeet Kune Do dialogues. Um, so as I said, we're waiting for Rickard to. He's got a computer like mine, one that gives trouble, right? So we're waiting for him to get here. So I'll tell you this: you can also go to paypal.me/unified Miami, paypal.me/unified Miami, and you can get yourself a copy of the raw but edited version of the Jeet Kune Do Journey, Volume One. Um, and that's all the selling I got to do, right? I can't tell you who's going to be on. I have to get a confirmation probably by Monday for next Friday's dialogue partner. So you'll have to stand by for that one until I can tell you. And what else? Let me just see who's here. Um, James Bishop, hello. Jesus Santiago. All right, cool. And Terry Valor. All right, okay, cool. Um, so last night we were on we had a what I call episode two of the Jeet Kune Do debates, and it went pretty well. And I asked people if they'd be interested in doing that once a month, and across the board, uh, very favorably, everybody said, "Yeah, let's do that." So that'll become a feature going forward. Once a month on a Friday, we'll get together and talk. And I'm sure as we keep doing it, it'll get better and better. And then we'll probably one day end up with two Jeet Kune Do notables who will debate each other and let me be moderator. In fact, Terry Valor has already volunteered. Who else? I think did Simon Alpin also volunteer? Right. But now we just need to get somebody from, as I guess we would have to say, the other side, right, to come forward. So there's Simon. Terry James Bishop says he's beginning to think you never actually leave, right? Well, okay, so I guess Terry and I should confess we actually live together, James, and that's why he's always that's why Terry Valor is always number one in the queue because he's right next door to me, so he knows every time that I go live. No, of course I'm just kidding. That's not true at all. Right? Okay. All right. So Rickard is rebooting, right? Yeah. Okay. He's probably having the same kind of problems that I have. Um, I think I might have to check my computer settings or something because probably every 6 weeks or so, it decides to update on a Friday, and I've been caught a couple of times with that, and then the restarting of the computer takes forever. So yeah, we're okay. So I'm gonna go dark for a second, guys, and give Ricard some time to get here. All right. So okay, everybody, just stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Give me one sec. Okay. So, like I said, we'll just give him time to get here. So, I got to show you guys something. I went into storage. Well, actually, I didn't go into storage. I did go into storage, but I didn't find this stuff. This stuff was actually just in a box, um, not off premise storage, but in house storage. This was in a box, and I was looking. I was trying to find an old VHS tape that I'm gonna try to get converted to DVD. And so let me show you guys what I found. So this was one of the things that I found. Check this out. So this was done for me by an old student of mine. This artwork is probably this is probably about 30 years old, right? Brady Buckman, who at the time was one of the top Miami tattoo artists, and he was my student, and he did that. He did that for me. Um, I'm not tough enough to get something like this as a tattoo anywhere on my body. Sorry, right? So, but he uh, he got me that, and then I found this as well. Check this out, right? Another piece of artwork, and this one must have been a gift at somebody because it's already framed and what have you, right? Which this is actually one of my favorite Bruce Lee drawings. So I found all that stuff, and I'm thinking, it's time to get rid of my backdrops. So now I just have to learn how to hang stuff on the wall. Once I know how to hang stuff on the wall, then my backdrop will change, right? Okay, all right. So what else can we talk about before Rickard gets here? Um, let's see. Okay. All right. I'm just checking to see if there's any other messages or what have you. James Bishop was telling us that he's going. James, have you done it already, or are you scheduled to go on to the Kung Fu Geniuses show, the with Alex Richter? Have you done it yet, or are you getting ready to do it? Um, I'll have to see if I can. No, that's not there. Gotta scroll all over the place to try to find. It's really strange having two completely different displays. Okay, so you recorded it on Monday. All right, that'll. Wow, geez, maybe he. That's a professional thing. If you've already recorded it, but he doesn't do anything with it for like 2 weeks, that's definitely that's way more professional than anything that I do because I it's recorded and I leave it out there raw as it is. All right. Um, okay. So, is there anything else we can small talk about, guys, until Ricard gets here? Um, yeah. See that's the way to do it, James. Have a whole slew of people that can help you out and stuff. All right. And there we go. Who's that good-looking guy?
Hey, sorry for the delay.
That's all right, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Glad you could make it. So that everybody knows, we switched to a Saturday at 3 p.m. because this is what you said to me. You said it's All Hallows Eve, and for once you were fully booked. What did that mean? What did you mean by fully booked?
Normally, I don't celebrate Hallows Eve, but for once, I went with my family's wishes.
Ah,
So
okay.
I was busy the entire day with the family stuff.
All right. Nice. Okay, so now for people who might be like me and be geographically illiterate, explain Scandinavia to me.
Okay, Scandinavia is I think it's Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. And the Nordic
Mhm.
countries are Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, and maybe Norway. I'm not sure. Uh, So Scandinavia is Sweden, Denmark, and Norway.
Okay. So so if the Scandinavian Jeet Kune Do Alliance, all you guys work together.
In one way or another, I keep in touch with the guys in Denmark and with
Mhm.
the guys in Norway,
Right.
and yeah.
And so and you had also said something to me about Richard Torres being indispensable for you and your Jeet Kune Do development. And I know now I know he does seminars in Europe, but it's not in Sweden, is it?
No, no, no. The story behind it is my first Sifu is called Stefan Nikander.
Stefan
Yes,
Nikander, right?
yes.
Yeah.
He was in contact with a guy in Netherlands, and
Hmm.
that guy had a contact in New York,
Okay,
and it happens to be Richard Torres. So
I see.
James Terbeek, I think, in
Hmm.
Netherlands,
Hmm.
and from that on, I if that didn't happen, I wasn't able to train JKD in Sweden.
Right,
So that's the
right.
connection.
Okay. All right. So tell people the story then about Stefan Nikander and your experiences with him.
I met Stefan first time in September 1998 when he opened up his school here locally where I live. Um, the, uh, the first the first meeting was, or actually I should say the first training session because it was pre the training session, and I was totally blown away the first
Hmm.
session. We did I remember some crazy stuff, but the first thing I actually remember is we did the Jungfan salutation, and
Hmm.
maybe 5-10 seconds in, he started with "Be water" quote, "Empty your mind,"
Uh,
and I was like, I never heard that before, and I was
yeah.
like, what was that? I was mind blown, and from that on, I knew it. I'm hooked, and Stefan was a really cool guy. He was very fit. He liked to train hard. He used to
Hmm.
say to us students that I'd rather be overtrained than not training enough.
Yeah.
So he worked out a whole lot more than the rest of us kids at the time did, and he was how do you say, he was a very um, let's see, a very uh, it's hard to find the words in English for whatever reason.
Yeah.
If I were to speak Swedish, I would go like, and you
Right.
wouldn't understand anything.
Well, hey, listen, I appreciate your having the confidence to come on and do this, you know, with English not being your first language. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that because I can't help you in any
No,
shape or form with Swedish.
no, I'll teach you.
Okay.
Yeah, but back to Stefan, he was determined
Okay.
in almost everything he did,
Yeah.
and he was very. If you were loyal to him, he was loyal to you. But if you
Hmm.
messed up, you would learn not to do it again.
Right.
So he was always giving people a second chance, but and the benefit of the doubt. But he always said, no, "Don't mess up."
Yeah. How did he get involved in Jeet Kune Do?
He started in training in karate. I don't know, back in the 80s or something, and
Mhm.
from there on, he's read every magazine there was. He ordered from the U.S., and when he got older, he started to travel to the U.S. to go to seminars. So he went to and met a lot of the first generation students,
Mhm.
and from there he yeah I think it went for several years before he got in contact with Richard Torres and Ted Wong.
Okay. So he was probably at because the Jeet Kune Do nucleus, they had a seminar in the Netherlands, didn't they? So he was probably at that one,
Most likely, yeah. I'm
right?
not sure, but
Yeah.
I know he was at uh, two of the nucleus seminars, but I'm not
Hmm.
sure which ones.
Okay.
If there was or where there were. We
Yeah.
never really talked into that.
Yeah.
But actually, I found somebody posted a picture from, I think it was Leif de Rebek in Norway, who posted a picture from a nucleus or something seminar, something a few months
Oh,
back, and
yeah,
I
right.
actually saw a picture in that picture
Is Stefan?
from Stefan. I saw his back. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think that's my Sifu.
Yeah.
And Leif
Right.
wrote like, yeah, it's him.
Yeah, Tim Tackett did that once. He put up a picture of an event at Cas Magda's school, and
Mm.
I'm looking at it and I go, "That's got to be me with that hairstyle." Right? It's got to be,
Love it.
yeah,
Love
right.
it.
But if Stefan, we were talking about this the other day. Stefan was probably attracted to Ted Wong because Ted Wong was super fit too, right?
Yeah, he was in good shape. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You
he
trained
never
with Ted.
really. Yeah. No, I did. I never trained with Ted. I went to
Okay,
seminars with him.
okay.
So when Stefan was bringing Ted Wong from, I think the first year was 1999 or something.
Hmm.
Uh, was the first time I met Ted Wong in here
Yeah,
because of Stefan brought him
right.
to the school. Uh,
Okay. But between 1999, 2000, let's call it,
mhm.
and today, 2022, things for you were not a straight line with
No.
no bumps or anything, huh?
No. uh, let's just the easy expression would be it's been a roller coaster and it's been fun and it's been really scary sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because okay, so if I remember what you sent me in your profile, you started with Stefan in like 98, and within 6 months, right, you were assisting him,
Yeah,
and then
well, I
within
became
two
his
years,
apprentice. Yeah.
yeah, within 2 years, right, you were substituting for him, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
That kind of parallels the story between Dan Inosanto and Bruce Lee.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
I think that's quite parallel. And then he moved. Not now, I don't remember. He moved away, right? And so
Yeah,
it was up to
yeah.
you guys.
It was up to us. He moved to town close to Stockholm, but it's still a bit too far to travel. He was
Hmm.
still traveling for like maybe a year, and then he came like, guys, it doesn't work anymore. I'm way too much for my family,
Yeah.
and his family was everything to him. He had three kids, two daughters, one son,
Hmm.
and yeah, so he said like, we gotta either close down the school or you guys step up.
Right.
And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, one sec, we're doing it. So
Okay. Yeah.
I had the guys in my back and said, we're gonna do it. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's how we
Wa-
started.
was that school under him? Was he doing that full time or
No,
not?
it was part time.
Okay.
He was a kindergarten teacher, and doing that
Ah,
like 50% of the time, and
right.
the other times he was either training or taking care of the kids, and his wife was doing full-time job,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. And the school was is most for fun, but he
Right.
was dedicated fun.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so you guys obviously didn't hesitate to say yes, we'll continue it. So what prompted you to not hesitate? Like, I mean, did you feel like you were ready to do it, or was it more like, well, I don't know how we'll do it, but we're going to do it?
It was probably more no idea what we're doing. It's gonna
Yeah.
be fun, I think, I hope. It was like, how hard can it be, you know?
Right.
Mm.
Right. And then you found out what?
I found out it was much more difficult than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do. So, okay. So then tell us the story of that. How long did you guys last? And
We
what?
lasted the school lasted for about 4 years. We started
Okay.
in 2003, and the school closed summer of 2007. So
Yeah.
just about 4.5 years.
Yeah.
And it was because I got injury in the hip flexor. Uh,
Hmm.
got an inflammation that never got away. So it
Hmm.
took me. If I was smart, it would be gone for like 6 months.
Yeah.
But I wasn't smart. I
You
didn't
weren't
listen.
smart.
No,
Okay.
I was young. Mm. I was young and knew it all.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How
Been
hard can
there.
it be, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I was the only teacher at the school. I had some friends helping out, but due to my injury, a lot of the guys, and we had a big school. We were around, after 1 year, we had over 120 students.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was crazy, really crazy. So we had a big school, and
Yeah.
I got injured in 2006, the spring 2007. We went down to 8 people due to my injury.
Wow. Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
and so because of the school, how do you say? Because of the school closed down, and my pride went. It was tough, man. It was really tough. So I decided that I needed to focus on myself for a bit. So I
Hmm.
stepped down from the teaching part. I still stayed in contact with Stefan whenever I could, and I still did my own training for
Right.
myself.
Right.
I did that for off and on for several years,
Hmm.
and a few
Was
years
it
later, yeah,
was it that injury that led you into the health field? Is
yep,
that how it happened? Uh
yes,
huh. Uh huh.
that was. I met a chiropractor in 2006 when I was how do you say, a board member in the it's not a national association, but it's a part of the National Association for Martial Arts in Sweden,
Okay.
locally here in Stockholm. And
Yeah.
I became a board member there, and the chairman of the board was a student in chiropractic, and I met him. And when I learned that he was a student almost done with his studies, I was like,
Hmm.
"Do you take on any clients? I need help." And from that on, I got hooked, and I started studying in the fall of 2010, I think, and then just kept going.
Right. So that led to health coach, personal trainer, massage therapist, right?
Yes,
And then like strength coach and all that stuff for the gym and what have you.
yeah, yes, that
Okay.
too.
So that's what you do now, side by side.
Side by side. Mostly, I do professional coaching again towards uh, people that have lack of self-esteem and confidence.
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's the main part I do. But I
Right.
also do the some personal training. Mostly it's for the people that need physical therapy after we've done this sports massage sessions,
Right.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the main area.
So it's what we would call in the States a life coach, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
That's it. Okay.
yeah.
So well, I mean, I don't know how personal you would want to be
I'm open.
about that, but okay. So well, this is a strange way to put it, but what qualifies you to coach people on their life?
What qualifies me is not only because I'm certified health coach, so
Mhm.
I've learned how to handle things, but also my own personal experience.
Right.
I've had a bit of a roller coaster, like I mentioned before.
Right.
In 2015, due to several midlife crises, closing down the school was one of them.
Mhm.
I was diagnosed with anxiety and mental health issues.
Mhm.
And how should I put it? Thanks to my education, I was able to get back on track
Right.
pretty far, but not as close as I wanted to.
Right.
And that took me a lot of years. The first maybe 2.5 years, I had no idea what was going on. And the doctors was like, every test is good. I was like, what the hell? What's wrong? And one day I was like, hmm, because
Yeah.
it started with stomach issues, and I couldn't keep the food in. I was throwing up, going to the bathroom off and on for whatever. I was passing out, going to my work. I was
Wow.
working at the school at the time, so I
Yeah.
passed out just walking there. One day, it was like, boom. I was like, what the hell? And yeah, doctors couldn't find anything. And one day I was like, hmm, what happens when you get nervous?
Mhm.
Your stomach get upset. Hmm, could it be something in my brain? Could it be a psychological thing?
Mhm.
So I called my doctor and I told her that, and she said, "You have an appointment tomorrow."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And from there on, I got the help I needed.
What's the role? What then would you say is the role that Jeet Kune Do played in through all that crisis?
The first thing was actually the "Be Like Water" quote.
Uh-huh.
I use that because uh, the way I look at it is you have water from a spring going down a mountain. It finds the way anyway.
Hmm.
Uh, as soon as there's an obstacle, it finds a way around it. And I thought to myself that this is just an obstacle. I can take this one. This
Right.
is nothing.
Right.
It's going to be tough, but I can do it. I just have to find another way than I'm used to. And
Hmm.
so I started out, the first 6 months or so, I was afraid to take up the garbage. I was petrified for doing
Wow.
anything. I have to. It was, yeah, it was crazy. I remember, especially one day, I woke up and I was about to. I had a few hours before I had to go to work, so I was about to go take a shower. So like, what what am I doing now? Okay, I'm gonna go to the shower. How do I do that? So I needed to train myself and go like, okay, take the left foot down, right foot down, stand up. Okay, do that. Now what? Okay, turn to the right, walk 3 steps, go into the shower, hair, and now what? Oh, body. So I need everything, and the same with to put on the clothes. Now, left sock, right sock, left pant of
Hmm.
the pants and stuff,
Hmm.
and then slowly the time went. Yeah, it was a lot of brain activity going on. Let's say
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
just to get dressed.
Right. How does I, I feel like going through that yourself
Hmm.
must have played a role, must have had an effect then in teaching when people are trying to understand,
Hmm.
right? That must have helped you to identify with what they're going through.
Yeah.
So okay, so then so tell me then. So how do you do? Yeah, how do you deal with students then that are struggling to learn?
The first thing I do, it's quite funny because I was talking to a friend about this just the other day, and I told him the first thing I do every training session, I intercept their emotions every time. I just ask them a few questions, and I try to tell them some kind of story. I love storytelling, and the
Uh-huh.
importance of storytelling is because it increases dopamine in the brain, increases focus, increases what's it called? Motivation, and improves all round health. So
Right.
the first thing I do every training session is, how are you? How's your day been? And I tell a good story, or I was doing this, or have you heard about that? And I seen this, and and something that makes them go
Yeah.
from I'm focused like this, and
Yeah.
my brain is all over until. So that's the first thing I do. The second thing is by asking them a lot of questions. So make them think for themselves.
Hmm.
By It could be anything. It could be like, what is the Baijang? And they have to explain to me, and I play dumb, so they get to
Yeah.
laugh as well. So another way to get them to increase other neurotransmitters. I keep forgetting the ones that we get from laughing, but oxytocin, I think. Uh, so basically, uh, because of what I've been through, and I probably should mention that I have level 1 autism, which makes me pretty good at noticing details.
Right.
And I have ADHD or ADD, which
Who doesn't?
yeah. Actually, I joke around and say I have the A to Z, the entire
Right.
alphabet. Why not?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So,
Um,
and the thing is
that
about.
that's interesting about the storytelling because and I remember when I spent time with Dan Kennedy in the marketing conferences and what have you. He said the same thing. He said you can sell a lot more by telling stories,
Yep,
you
exactly.
know, and you can also, and people will remember what the story. They won't remember the facts and the figures. If you give people a whole lot of numbers and statistics and what have you, nobody's gonna, right.
Uh,
But if you tell them a story related to it,
mhm.
then yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We have a Swedish guy here. That's called the what is it? David J.P. Phillips, I think. I can send you the link later on. He's a great public speaker, one of the biggest on TEDx.
Ah,
He's awesome, and he's talking about storytelling as well.
right.
I'll send you the link
Yeah,
afterwards.
sure. I love it.
I actually was watching that right like 30 minutes ago. I was like,
Right.
this is good stuff. I like this. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta go on.
Yeah, no, sometimes I do stuff like that, like usually it's a martial art thing, and before I do like the Wednesday podcast or what have you, I'll spend a few hours just listening to stuff just to get myself into the an even better frame of mind. I was talking with one of my new students today about um, people getting bored because you have to do the same in order to get good. You got to do the same thing over and over again,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
How do you deal with it?
Uh, I one of the first thing I tell my students or the new student, I tell them, have you ever done something, let's say clean the house when you were a kid, and your mom came in and they were like, "Ah, you have to do better." And I'm like, oh man, have you ever done that? And I was like, yeah, of course. Okay, so did you do it better next time? Yeah. How did that feel? I was like, oh, that was good. But still, Your mom came and said, you have to do better. It's the same thing with what we do. It's the same principle. We have
Yeah.
to do it over and over and over. When we're tired of it, we're sick and tired of doing the lead punch, the hook, the uppercut, the groin kick, whatever, the cheese out, whatever it is, and you have to do it more. That's how we get good. But
Mhm.
I tell my students every time, I tell myself this every time as well, that to become good, I have to enjoy the process. I have to
Yeah.
learn how to appreciate the boring stuff. I'm
Yeah.
tired of putting the front hand lead, I'm tired of doing the puck dar, but I do it every time, every time, every time. Keep going. And I find something that, let's say I'm doing uh, a parry drill, but today I'm working on the push step.
Hmm.
My focus isn't this, is working on the footstep, push step today. Tomorrow, I'm working on the puck or the parry.
Hmm.
So I tell them to, you can do the same thing, but you're working on different things every time to keep
Right.
focus and
Right.
don't get bored. And sometimes it works, and sometimes I can't think of something more fun.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, maybe.
Do you think that that so when we have the differences of opinion
Hmm.
in the Jeet Kune Do world, right? And so we have the group that sticks to, let's call it, the fundamentals, and then we have the group that supposedly goes off studying a whole bunch of things. Do you think it's because they get bored at at really crafting a high level in the fundamentals, and so they go off to study these other things
I think
because of
it's
boredom?
not only because of boredom. I think it's because of the interest of the martial arts in general.
Hmm.
I mean, me personally, I love martial arts. You're doing Aikido, love it. Doing kickboxing, love it. I don't care what martial art people are doing. I'm
Hmm.
interested in watching, learning, listening, sometimes even doing myself. It
Hmm.
depends on what they're doing. But I love martial arts. But my main focus has always been and will ever be JKD.
Right.
So I do. I watch other stuff. I train some other stuff as well. Not in the same idea as going to become going to a school. I have friends from different kinds of martial arts, so we hang out and train and teach each
Right.
other.
Right.
And I've been doing that since I was 17, I think.
Hmm.
Due to Stefan, he told me to.
Okay. Yeah.
So learn to train with other people, have fun. I was like, okay, so I did.
Right. Yeah.
But to answer your question, no, I don't think it's only about boredom. I think it's an interest in general in the martial arts,
Right.
and yeah.
Yeah. See, because I think that, well, you're right, but the ones who do it because they get bored are they think that they're following the example of the ones who did it for the reasons you talked about.
Hmm.
You see, the ones who do it because they are martial artists throughout, and so they're interested in everything that comes their way.
Yeah.
So they go train in other things. I think some of the ones who follow them are not doing it for the same reason. They're doing it because it's like the next shiny object that comes along
Mhm.
and captures their attention. And so they end up never developing anything that's truly, phenomenal, because they don't put in the time. They're
Yeah.
flitting from this to this to this,
Hmm.
you know? So that's why sometimes my good friend, even though he and I argue, sometimes my good friend Richard Torres is right, but he's wrong if he ever condemns an entire group of people, right? And then he's so stubborn, he won't ever listen. When I tell him what's really going on, he won't ever listen, right? But but I know where he's coming from, and if he's right, I'll say that he's right. But when he's wrong, I gotta let him know that he's wrong. So he is
Mhm.
instrumental in your development, but there's another person that we should talk about as well.
Yes, my seafood today, Albert
Yes,
Cajales in Puerto Rico,
yes.
the one
So
who is
okay, so
uh,
last time I checked, now remember, I'm geographically illiterate, but Puerto Rico
mhm.
is not that close, right?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
So okay, so break that down for me.
Uh, in about, well, let me think, it was around 2018, 19, I started to reach out to different students of Taiwan that I
Hmm.
knew beforehand or people that I knew was under Taiwan because
Yeah.
I wanted to backtrack Stefan's knowledge. And I thought, what better way than to go to my Sisuks or my uncles and whatever and just be friendly.
Mhm.
And I did that to Albert. And in 2019, the winter time of 2019, he reached out and said, "I know you need help. I want to help," and that's how I started. And we only do it online.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's how it started out.
Yeah. Well, that is definitely one of the beauties of the online world, that which and people became much more aware of it during the COVID stuff and what have you. Oh, wait, I didn't think about this. Was Sweden a lockdown country? Because I remember that some places in Europe weren't big on the whole COVID lockdown, but I don't remember specifically if Sweden was or not.
No, we didn't have that lockdown as, let's say, the US or any other countries. We
Hmm.
had, um, it was a bit controversial because they said that we think it's a good idea if you stay home, but it's not. It's your decision. It's like okay, and
Yeah,
that's by the way, that's real typical Swede because we don't. We're the typical Swede is. I say shy people.
yeah,
We're proud, but we're shy. We don't take any. We don't go like, "Hey, look at me, I'm good." It's like, "Oh, I'm pretty okay, maybe, sort of." We're that kind of people. We're a bit. Uh, we're not insecure in per se, but well, yeah. So it's hard to explain, but
yeah,
uh, because of that typical thing of us, the government was like, yeah, we recommend, but
yeah,
so people are like, yeah, okay. So in the first few months of COVID hitting here, we got hit by COVID in March of 2020, and it was basically everything was normal until May, June 2020, and then like, yeah, we recommend that you don't go to the bar and hang out. It's probably not a good idea. And then in the fall of 2020, it's like, oh, stay at home, please stay at home.
right.
It
Yeah,
took some while, but in general, it's like, oh, you don't have to. And then we had, I think we had for a couple of months, there were. Uh, they closed down bars, restaurants earlier, so they had like a time limit. They have like 10 o'clock, we're done.
right. Yeah.
And yeah, the 6 feet away and stuff like that. We had that pretty early. I remember that.
Hmm. So, did you do any online teaching yourself during that
No,
time?
no, we kept
No.
on going. Uh, yeah, I was like, we're training outside, like
Right. Yeah.
99.9 of the times. We're doing 6 feet
Mhm.
away, so mask on. And if you're not comfortable with that, we can always train footwork. So we
Yeah.
did a
Right.
lot of footwork the first. eight
Hmm.
months of COVID or something, and then people were starting to show up without a mask. And I'm not sure we're supposed to. So, and then after a while, it's like, okay, it seems okay.
Yeah.
But
But you didn't have like health authorities coming around checking to see if you
what,
guys are wearing masks or nothing.
not at our school, but I know of
Yeah.
some guys that had like people turning them into the authorities and you better go check
Really?
this out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like the noisy neighbor, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, it takes all types, I guess. Um, okay, so now you're certified through Sifu Albert,
Yes.
right? Okay, so what's the plans for going forward from here?
I have a lot of things in the pipeline. The first plans for the school is to develop more people that can take a class. So that's the first goal of the academy. My personal goal, to be healthier, to lose some weight and stuff like that, and building the school to become what it was once in a,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the main goal. And I want to open up a school with like a real gym. I want to do that again because the ones we had was it was it was good. We had like a weightlifting apartment, we had showers, we
Right.
had the quan with mats, we had the equipment like whatever, all the good stuff.
Um, what are the, because I didn't look this up, like the size of Sweden and what have you,
Hmm.
but how much Jeet Kune Do is there in Sweden?
We're the only ones that are no, there's actually one more group in southern parts through what's it called? Mark, you know this guy. He was on a few weeks ago. Uh,
Oh, Mark Stewart.
yeah, Mark Stewart. He has a group
Uh-huh.
in the southern part of Sweden, but not many schools at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
they should say.
that's what I was thinking. But now, is it the same way with the traditional arts, like the like
No,
karate and they're all
they're
over the place?
huge.
Really?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nowadays we have a lot of MMA schools,
Okay.
a lot of them,
Yeah.
and the BJJ and those
Yeah.
kind of schools. There's a lot, but the traditional like judo, karate, aikido, jiu-jitsu, the traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu, it's wild and crazy. They're
Interesting.
huge, and
Interesting.
taekwondo.
Right. So all over the world, we have the same situation. We have the art of a superstar,
Hmm.
but it's small.
Yeah,
And then we have huge everything else, but none of those people are really superstars.
yeah.
How is that? What did
Bad
we do wrong?
bad marketing afterwards. We have to do a better job.
Oh my
Uh,
God, right?
uh,
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that if anything, if there'll never be anything that unites the Jeet Kune Do people, all right? I'm convinced of that, right?
mhm,
But if there ever was anything, it should be that, you know,
mhm,
growth,
yeah.
right? And we've had that discussion on the Facebook page. Um, Jeremiah Gill was talking about it the other day. Um, do you have a solution? Do you have any ideas as to how it could grow?
Social media
Hmm.
is so basically this what we're doing here is a
Yeah,
great part for the every JKD school there is. I think one way. I actually had an idea. Can I do
yeah,
a experimentation? Is that the word for it
yeah,
with you?
yeah.
Uh, I learned this a few years ago. and it's about. Um, I'll just show you. It's much easier. I use this card. This is my travel card for the subway. So imagine this: you have standing in front and watching this, and I'm standing from the side
Hmm.
watching that way.
Hmm.
And I ask you a question, Dwight: how tall is this card? Show with your hands, with your fingers. How tall is it? Hmm? And I say quite similar, right?
Yeah.
We agree on that. How wide is it? From where you're
Right.
standing,
Yeah.
how wide is it? No, you're crazy. It's like this. See what I'm getting?
Yeah.
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 And the one who taught me that idea of the card said the only way for us to agree is if one of us is prepared to walk out of my own space, my own
Hmm.
point of view, step where you're standing, watch from that perspective, and really try to understand.
Hmm.
If we're not doing that, we're gonna argue. No, is this, is this, is this, is this.
Yeah.
So the first thing we have to do is find a mutual ground. That's my first solution.
Yeah. Well, that mutual ground does exist.
Yeah,
We all have a common heritage,
yeah.
right? We all have a common heritage. But it's just there's stubbornness on both. You know what I hate about it?
Hmm.
I hate that it's a reflection of the political division where I live in this country. It's exactly the same thing, right? Because you will hear people talking about both parties are guilty of whatever and whatever.
Yep.
And I hate the fact that that applies so accurately to Jeet Kune Do. Both parties, when I'm not a subscriber to the idea of there being two different types of Jeet Kune Do. I've never been a subscriber to that, right? And you know how you were saying that Stefan, talked about training with other people and what have you.
Hmm.
When Ted Wong came to Miami many years ago, we were there,
That's awesome.
right? My
Yeah.
students and I, we there was no way, right? There was no way. I mean, I didn't even have to mention it to Sifu and Asano, but of course I did. And
Hmm.
he was like, "You guys are going." I was like, "Of course we're going." He was like, "Good," right? Because why wouldn't you go?
Yeah.
Right? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you go? It's so stupid. Oh, I can't go train with Ted Wong because my instructor is Dan Asano.
That's just weird
That's
and
so stupid,
stupid.
right?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that Dan Asano would never approve of that. There's
Uh,
no way, right?
yeah.
And so he was like, "You guys are going." I was like, "Of course we're there,"
Hmm.
right? And we had a great time.
Yeah.
We
I,
had a
I
great
we had Richard Bustillo here in Gothenburg in I think 2005,
time. Hmm.
and me and my best friend who was running the school was like, "We're going. I have to see this guy."
Yeah.
And I didn't tell Stefan, but I went with my
Hmm.
friend Daniel, and we came back and like, "Do you know where we were this weekend?" Like, no, weren't you at the school? No, 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 no. We were in Gothenburg. I just shook hands with Richard Bustillo and have during his seminar, and he was teaching. It was like, oh, really? Good. Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you
Yeah.
think of that? Yeah, it was different. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about myself.
Hmm.
I had fun. Most of all, I had really fun. I met some
Right.
cool guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that staying open to that type of stuff is
Mhm.
one of the best cures for your personal insecurity.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times people what they're really when they're like, oh, I don't need that. That's a way of hiding,
Hmm.
right? That,
Hmm.
well, I'm afraid that people find out that I don't know such and such.
Hmm. Yeah. I
Right?
actually I joked around a few weeks ago. One of my students, who's also a close friend of mine today, he moved to Dubai for
Ah,
work.
uh-huh.
Yeah, for whatever reason, but he got himself a really good job, so he went.
Okay.
And I remember we were talking, me and another guy, about him moving, and I told him a story about where I was teaching. I think we were doing some Don Chisao or something, and I said to him, "You know what? This is not my area of expertise. I'm not the greatest Chisao practitioner or teacher,
Right.
but you know who are?" And I started like Danny Nosanto, pull, do that one, that one, that one, that one. Look them up. They're good. Me, I've had fun with it.
Hmm.
It's not my preference, but I know some, and I know enough to have fun with it.
Right.
And I remember him saying like, "Huh, most teachers never admit their faults."
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, but I'm like not like most people. I have fun.
Yeah.
I don't care."
Yeah. Yeah. It's something, and the thing about it is that it's almost like there are two solutions to it.
Hmm.
One solution is to be honest and admit that you're not the best at everything.
Yeah,
The other solution is to gain more experience.
yeah,
Just go do more stuff,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's fair, and I think that with a more open attitude towards everything that's out there, that could lead to a deeper understanding. But you know, that's why. Did you see? I think it was James Bishop who brought it up again about more instructional video on the Facebook page. Did you see that post?
Was it recent?
Yeah, it was probably over the last couple of days that
Uh,
he, yeah, and I
I
said
have
to
to.
him, yeah, I said to him, I had put that out there a while ago, but right now people still seem to enjoy more the talking at each other than
Mhm.
just showing, oh, look, here's how we do this.
Yeah,
Here's how we do that and what have you. But again, just like yesterday when we did the Jeet Kune Do debates, I think as time goes by. So if we just keep reminding people, so I'm gonna do it personally every week, remind people that we're trying to build a video library on the
hmm,
I Love Jeet Kune Do page
yeah,
of people doing what they do.
yeah.
You
Uh,
know?
I totally agree on that one. It just came up in my mind that Sifo Stefan was one of the first that I know of that went to YouTube and put up videos of him teaching.
Yeah,
He was really early on,
yeah,
back in 2003, four,
yeah.
and he and technology not compatible, not at all. He's
Me,
like,
me,
I'm old
me.
school.
Right. I am too. I force myself to to do this
Yeah.
because I've said it before. There was a time, let's see, um, up to 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago,
Hmm.
I was on Facebook for about 6 minutes a week
Wow.
because it took 2 minutes to upload my blog. And that was it. I wrote a blog Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Uh-huh.
I used to have it uploaded by 8 a.m. and that was it. I was off Facebook for the rest of the day,
I
right?
love it.
But
I love
yeah,
it.
but so right now, um, I mean, I think we've been doing these for 3, 4 years now, and they're still not on Apple Podcasts, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous, right? You
Yeah.
know, now if I had any shame, I would be ashamed of it, but I don't have any shame. So, right, but
That's
one
good though.
day,
That's a good.
right, right,
Yeah.
one day, everything that should be in place will be in place, you know. And then, of course, I'll slap myself and go, "Why didn't you do this earlier?"
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Because
Yeah. It's. How do you say? I've been thinking about this for quite some time. About uh, before I decided, I just recently started posting on YouTube. I
Mhm.
have video material for I don't know how many
Yeah,
years ago, and I was
yeah,
like, maybe it's time. And I just recently, like a month ago, started to post more new stuff. But I
right.
think most people, most instructors, everybody has their own thing they're really, really good at. I'm a really, really good technical instructor. So
Hmm.
that's my expertise area to be specific on small
Hmm.
details.
Yeah,
And there are other guys that have I don't know the Kali stuff or whatever you like to teach and have some really good thoughts and ideas about that. Post that stuff out. It should
yeah,
be out there.
yeah, yeah. No,
It's just that simple.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But it goes back again to, for some people, right? Some people are just not interested, and they're genuinely not interested.
Hmm.
But I think more people than not are afraid. They
Yeah,
don't have the confidence.
yeah,
They can't handle the fact that somebody might not like what they're doing. Somebody might have something negative to say, right?
yeah.
And it's like,
But there's a cool function on YouTube. No commenting. Just push that button and you don't have to see any.
I know, yeah, yeah. That too is something that I don't know what to do with people on the Facebook page, because some people just cannot help themselves,
Yeah,
right? Even though in the rules it says if you got nothing constructive to say, say nothing, right?
yeah,
But there's just a breed of people in social media where, and I'm not happy about it. But like I tell the other guys, we are not censors, we are moderators,
yeah,
and so you've got to be careful, you know, about putting people on the chopping block and or whatever.
yeah,
Anyhow, right?
yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking of, uh, the when they're bickering posts are going on. Do you know what I call that?
but
Clickbait.
yeah,
The worst thief of time ever.
yeah, yeah.
No, I
I
try my
yeah,
best to stay away.
yeah. There's another thing on now you mentioned clickbait. There's another. I I have a competing, two sides of my brain competing with these people. I admire their ability to title a video that
Hmm.
makes everybody click on it, right? So, like
Yeah.
if you title a video, I saw this one recently. Um, do you want to know why Bruce Lee almost killed Bob Baker in a fight? Right? Okay.
Hmm.
Now, here's what I know. That's not real, but it's intriguing, right?
Yep.
You're like,
Yep.
oh, maybe I missed something. I
Hmm.
know it's bull crap.
Yeah.
I know that. But so I admire their ability to get people to want to look at what it, and then they're really good at this. They can take something that to tell the story
Hmm.
would take 2 lines of text
Yep.
to tell the truth about it. Two
Hmm.
lines of text. And they can expand that into 200 lines
Hmm.
and just build a story.
Hmm.
I really admire that.
Yeah. Me
The
too.
stuff they put out is crap, but I admire their skill at putting out crap. You understand what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I totally am with you on that one. It, it, it it's crazy how good they are, uh, and doing all these YouTubers or are doing the good posts
Yeah.
and create good content, and the the photographic picture, another scene
Mm-hmm.
from
Yeah.
the tutorial
Yeah.
that it took me quite some time before I realized that they were actually a photo and not uh,
Yeah. It. I'll admit, sometimes it makes me wish that I had been born a lot later. That
mhm,
that this was normal and natural for me,
yeah.
and so that I could eliminate any kind of a learning curve or what have you, right? But
Yeah.
so, but
I'm
again, it if it's a struggle, but it's a struggle for a righteous thing. If it's a struggle to take you in the right direction, then
mhm,
it's worth it, right?
yeah. I say to myself all the time, if it, it it doesn't matter how long it will take. I mean, it took me 23 years to become a certified instructor at
Yeah,
my level.
yeah,
Uh, I don't care how long it takes. If I'm interested, I'm gonna do it.
right.
So if it's a struggle, yeah, so what? It doesn't matter. You're interested,
Hmm. Hmm.
so
Yeah,
enjoy the process. Uh,
exactly. Okay. All right. On that note, my friend, what time is it where you are? 9 p.m. or
it's
something?
yeah, 9:05 p.m.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I didn't keep you up all night.
No, no, no. The night has just begun. Now the fun starts. Now my brain goes like, woof.
I see. Okay. All right. Yeah. Spoken like a true party animal.
Yeah. Except I don't party as much anymore. Now it's the entrepreneurial part of me that goes like, woof. What can I
Yeah.
do now? Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. I actually, I went through, um, my book collection because I was listening to something and somebody said, "Oh yeah, this book by this guy is really good." And I thought, I own that book, but it's one of the many that I own that I never cracked open.
Uh,
You know what I mean? So I put
I've
that
been
in.
there a
I put
couple of
that
times
in.
myself.
Yeah, I put that in my travel bag. So I'm gonna get to it this week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Rickard, I want to I thank you for making the time to do this with me, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was actually on my bucket list since day one. I noticed this was going on. I was like,
Yeah,
someday, maybe, hopefully,
yeah,
and now it's
nice.
reality. So I thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Okay, so tell me who there is that I have not yet brought on that you think I should.
I think Leif in Norway, Rebek.
I knew you were gonna say that, right?
Yeah.
Because Pierre heads I'm gonna mess up his last name, but Pierre Hesvelt or something said that to me yesterday,
Ah,
right? So yeah, so I'm actually probably in the next couple of days I will reach out to Leaf and get him on as soon as I can.
yeah.
Yeah.
And James Studebeck in Netherlands would be awesome as well.
So James came on with Richard Torres maybe a couple of years ago, but yeah, I definitely
I
him.
haven't seen that one. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been looking.
yeah. Look it up. Look it
Yeah,
up. I think
I will.
because I think he was in town. He was in town when Richard came on.
Okay.
So yeah, you can find that. But yeah, we should. Yeah. So by the time I'm done, I will have had the entire Scandinavian JKD alliance on,
Yeah,
right?
that's awesome.
And then I'll hit Europe, right? And then and then I'll go back to Asia because we've had Sakan Lam on, but I think he's the only Asian JKD guy we've had on. So I'm not done. That's what I'm saying. I'm not done. There's a whole lot more to
That's
do.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, all right, man.
Have you
Thank
have
you
any
very
plans
much.
for Mr. Masato?
Well, I have the plans, but he doesn't make those decisions for himself.
Okay, okay. I see.
Right. So I have the plans, and I know what I would like to happen, but he doesn't control that on his end. So
Oh,
who knows,
okay.
right? Who knows? All right, my
Yeah,
friend. Thank you so much again. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the pages of Facebook, I'm sure.
yeah. Thank you for having me. Take
My
care.
pleasure, man. All right, you
Thanks.
take
Bye
care.
bye. Bye bye.
All right. Okay. I love that guy. All right, episode 246, right? Okay, so comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll ask Rickard to take a look and see if there's anything else that he needs to reply to, and I'll do the same. Next Friday, like I said, I have to get confirmation, and so I'll let you guys know during the week. And so, but before that, next Wednesday, 6 p.m. usual time, the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. All right. So until the next episode, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. You guys have a great weekend. Take care.